So bring your mind here. With your body on your seat. Just gone midday, 16th of February, 2022. Be present in this moment. Present to your body. Also to the room. The building. The town, city, or village, or otherwise, where you are. The country. The whole world. Continents, oceans, mountains, cities, and so forth. And I am here at this moment, on this seat, on this planet. Where I was born. And where I will die. And in between those two moments, I breathe. From the first breath, which opened up the lungs, to the final out-breath, after which there is no in-breath. So be this body breathing. This body that grew from 2 cells. And will eventually become dust. But for now, wow, I'm alive and breathing. And awareness of breathing makes a very special meditation. So be aware of the body breathing, the rib cage opening and closing, and the windpipe opening and closing, the diaphragm rising and falling. The body breathing. But also be aware of the awareness of breathing. It's not just a machine breathing. It's a person with a mind as well as a body. So meditate on these two together. The object, which is the breath, and the subject, which is awareness of the breath. And meditate on these two, the subject and the object, at the same time. Mindfulness is part of the awareness. Mindfulness remembers to hold on to the object, not be distracted by other thoughts. But it's only part of the awareness. The awareness is like the mirror in which the experience of the breath appears. So altogether we have the body breathing, the awareness of the breathing, and the mindfulness which holds the two together. If the mindfulness weakens, you will be distracted. So keep it strong. Not uptight, just strong. This is meditation without any words and without any external sense impressions. It's just an internal image of the breathing, and that which experiences the image, the awareness, and the mindfulness which bonds them. Make sure it's the whole body breathing, not just a part. As we come towards the end of this first meditation, just briefly reflect on what has been the effect or impact of doing this meditation. How have I changed since I entered this Zoom space? For example, maybe it's brought your mind and body into more of a unity. In the present, in the here and now. Something that we spend a lot of time away from. Okay, relax a little for a minute. So as you are aware, I think, all of you, we're doing a series in the second meditation about self and others, or we could say about relationship. And we spent quite a while on one's own identity from lots of angles. And last week we started to move into looking at relationship. And that's what we're going to continue with today. When you're ready, come back to a meditation posture and prepare for the second meditation. And I guess our primary relationship is with our parents. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And I'm well aware that there may be people here who never knew their birth parents or one of them. And also there may be people who get on very well with their parents or got on well with them, and also people who don't get on well. So this meditation isn't really to do with any of that, just to give you a context. So once again, bring your mind with your body where you are, in particular into your heart space, which is that area within your rib cage, centered on the heart center, which is at the same level as the heart, but in the center of the chest. But be relaxed. And be aware of your body, but from this position. Be aware of your body in all directions from your heart space, from your heart center. And as we know, our body is made up of countless cells. And these cells are continually multiplying, but also perishing. There's a big turnover all the time. And if we go back in time, before we reached our full size, when we were smaller than we are now, we had less cells. And if you keep going back in time, the number gets smaller and smaller. And if you go right back in time, everything originated from 2 cells. A sperm and an ovum. And we're going to spend a little bit of time meditating on that and feeling that that is our origin, physically speaking. That's where our body originated, from a sperm and an ovum. Which are obviously very tiny, but that's not the problem, because in meditation, size isn't really a big issue. And what's incredible is that this sperm and this ovum joined. Otherwise, our life would not have begun. If they'd missed, this wouldn't have happened. But they didn't miss. So just meditate in your heart space on that primal unity at the origin of our body, where those 2 cells met and joined. And their DNA became entwined. Producing a foundational cell from which everything else of our body arose. You don't need to build elaborate science book pictures. Just feel that unity of those 2 cells from where your body began. And that union of those 2 cells I think that probably the sperm entered into the ovum and fertilized it. The ovum received the sperm. I think that's how it happens. So just feel that. And we can find similar activity throughout nature, in both plants and animals, where life begins from cross-fertilization. It's often depicted in nature programs such as David Attenborough's. It's intriguing. The female needs to be fertilized by the male. It's within the female that the being will grow, but the male brings something essential to the process. And when their DNA is entwined, there's quite a good balance between what comes from the mother and what comes from the father. It's like a meeting of equals. A union of equals. Just feel that in your heart space. This is the origin of your body, of your life. A union of equals, each contributing chromosomes or DNA to what this body became, to what is sitting here now. Try to absorb with the feeling, the experience of this origin, without thinking too much. And once these two cells had joined, growth began. And that growth was nourished from the mother in the womb. Our first environment. It's like now we're sitting in a room. The womb was our first room. So the mother held us in her womb and nourished us with nutrients from her food and drink. From her body. And to some extent, therefore, we're like an extension of our mother's body. But only to some extent, because the genes or chromosomes of the father didn't come from the mother's body. So what grew in the womb was a new individual that was neither the mother nor the father. But a mixture of the two. And this new individual had her or his own awareness, even within the womb. Somewhere deep inside, there must be a memory of this. It's a memory of before our senses engaged with the outside world. A memory of before we had any language. We were maybe receptive to vibrations or, moods maybe from the mother or others around. Once we had senses within the womb, we were susceptible to sound or light, but to some extent. It was a very simple consciousness compared to what we have now. But in a way, it was the basis of what we have now. At a certain point, we were born. Maybe we could say we got out, we emerged, we pushed our way out, we were pushed out, we came into this world. Of air to breathe, and so forth. Colours to see. People. Mother was fundamentally important at the beginning. We were very familiar with her already. And as we grew up, we could say, we always had this origin of these two cells that joined. Physically speaking, we had this origin. But our awareness has always been our own. And as we encountered this external mother and external father, probably, not necessarily, and other close relatives or whoever was there, our awareness gradually interpreted what we experienced. And our body was nourished by food and drink and breathing and warmth and relationship. And slowly we came to be this person sitting here. Still connected at some level with those two original selves.